he went from Florence to Milan, and that was around the age of 31 or something like that. So he goes there, but when he goes there, he tries to explain to the ruling leader that he's actually good in something that he had never had any experience in. Can you explain that?
It's a wonderful best job application letter in history, an 11-paragraph job letter from Leonardo to the Duke of Milan, I'll call him. He was acting Duke. And the first 11 paragraphs describe all the mechanical things you can build. I can build forts, I can, weapons of war that knock gliders off of things. I can do size and tanks that will blah, blah, blah. I can also engineer the moving of water. Paragraph 11, and it didn't say but it's just paragraph 11. I can also paint and sculpt as well as any man. And it was because two or three things. He always had the fantasy that he was more of an engineer than an artist. Being an engineer was being an artist then, until Leonardo and then his frenemy Michelangelo come along, was not a high-class profession. It was like being a cobbler or a fashion, maker or whatever, or a gold beater or jewelry maker. It was a craftsman's job, and he wanted to be elevated, and there was a new class of people being formed. He was one of the leaders of it, but Alberti, Brunelleschi, and others where you were engineer artist, and that's what he wanted to be. But you read the letter, and it's half fantasy. That said, it wasn't total fantasy because he gets the job as the engineer, and Milan is always at war. I mean, between France and the Pope and Italian city-states. So I don't think he can fake it, even though he didn't really know what he was doing.